The memory was a burning brand on Kelar's psyche, hotter than any plasma blast, more searing than the acidic blood of a xenomorph. The hunt on Xylos Prime, intended as a glorious rite of passage, a routine culling of indigenous megafauna, had gone catastrophically, unforgivably wrong. He, Kelar, a young blood barely out of his unblooded trials, had faced the charging thorn beast of Xylos, a creature of colossal chitin and razor-sharp limbs, its roar a thunderclap that shook the very ground. A moment of indecision, a flicker of doubt in the face of its raw, untamed ferocity, a hesitation that lasted but a heartbeat too long, and his elder, the seasoned hunter Githrak, had taken a crippling blow meant for Kelar. Githrak lived, his life saved by his own quick reflexes and the sheer resilience of his kind, but his honor was scarred, and Kelar's was shattered beyond measure. The echoes of his elder's pained roar and the disgusted glances from his clanmates were a torment more profound than any physical wound. Stripped of his ceremonial markings, his advanced weaponry confiscated, Kelar was cast out. Not to die, for that would be too easy, too swift a release from his disgrace, but to exist as an outcast, a stain on his lineage, until he could prove himself worthy of a hunt so impossible, so legendary, that it would cleanse his shame. This time, he would rely on raw skill and the most basic of tools, for his clan had decreed that only through the most arduous, unassisted triumph could his honor be reclaimed. Whispers reached him through the galactic network, fragmented data packets from ancient human archives, tales of Midgard, a primitive world, and its primordial inhabitants. Not mere beasts, but beings of elemental force, a race of giants known as the Jötunheimr. One name resonated: Hrímfaxi. Not the horse of night, but a monstrous Frost Jötunn, said to be a living glacier, a sentient mountain of ice and stone, dwelling in the perpetually frozen peaks of Jötunheimr, the world of the giants. Legend spoke of its power to conjure blizzards that swallowed mountains and ice shards that could cleave fjords. This was no mere trophy hunt. This was a quest for the impossible. Kelar's scout ship, a relic from a forgotten generation, ghosted through Midgard's atmosphere, its cloaking field shimmering against the aurora borealis. He descended into a jagged, snow-blasted fjord, the ancient vessel settling silently amidst a landscape of colossal, ice-sculpted peaks. The air was a biting, alien cold that even his environmental suit struggled to mitigate. His multispectrum optics, built into a simpler, less intrusive visor, whirred, cutting through the swirling snow. Infrared showed only the searing cold, the heat signatures of the sparse, primitive human settlements at the fjord's mouth barely registering. They were beneath his notice for now. His focus was singular: Crimfaxi. Days bled into nights, marked only by the shifting light of Midgard's sun and moons. Kelar became a phantom in the frozen wilderness. He scaled sheer ice walls with his climbing spikes, repelled into bottomless crevasses, his movements as fluid and silent as the falling snow. He found the Jötunn's trail, colossal ice-shattered footprints, entire groves of ancient pines snapped like twigs, and the eerie, crystalline silence that followed in its wake. His observations confirmed the legends. Hrímfaxi was truly immense, a living mountain, its hide a tapestry of ancient ice and granite, its eyes glowing with a frigid, malevolent light. It moved with the slow, unstoppable force of a glacier, yet could unleash bursts of devastating speed. Its power over ice was absolute. Blizzards erupted from its roars, and razor-sharp ice formations spontaneously erupted from the ground at its command. Direct engagement was suicide. Kelar needed a strategy, a trap worthy of a disgraced hunter seeking redemption. He found it: a colossal ice cavern, a natural amphitheater carved by millennia of glacial melt, leading to a narrow, unstable ice bridge spanning a chasm of unknown depth. This was where he would make his stand. Kelar spent the next cycle meticulously preparing. He rigged sonic lures, mimicking the distress calls of Midgard's largest beasts, echoing them through the cavern's crystalline acoustics. He planted satchel charges in strategic ice formations, calculating the precise detonations needed to trigger a controlled collapse. His wrist blades were sharpened to a razor's edge, and a heavy serrated hunting axe, a traditional weapon, was secured to his back. He was ready. The lure worked. A low, guttural rumble vibrated through the ice, growing louder, closer. The ground trembled. Then a shadow fell across the cavern entrance, blotting out the aurora. Crimfaxi lumbered into view, its massive form filling the opening, its breath a frozen mist. Its ancient eyes, like chips of blue ice, scanned the cavern, searching for the source of the sound. Kelar, cloaked, moved like a ghost. He hurled his axe, a spinning blur of metal that embedded itself deep into Hrímfaxi's shoulder. The Jötunn roared, a sound like grinding glaciers, and swung a massive ice-encrusted fist. Kelar dodged, the wind of the blow nearly tearing him from the wall. He was a gnat against a mountain. He retrieved his axe, pulling it free with a grunt, and darted, striking with his wrist blades. The blades scraped against Hrímfaxi's icy hide, leaving shallow gouges, but the Jötunn's regenerative properties, its very essence of ice, began to knit the wounds. Crimfaxi retaliated, conjuring a storm of jagged ice shards that tore through the cavern, forcing Kelar to activate his energy shield, the crackle of impacts reverberating through his suit. A direct hit. A massive ice-covered hand slammed into Kelar, sending him tumbling across the frozen floor, his cloaking device flickering wildly. Pain flared through his ribs, a sickening crunch. His visor cracked. He lay there, vision blurring, the Jötunn's colossal shadow falling over him. The shame of Xylos Prime resurfaced, the memory of Gthrak's injured form, failure. But then, a primal roar tore through him. This was not Xylos Prime, this was his one chance. He would not fail again. With a surge of adrenaline, Kelar scrambled to his feet, ignoring the pain. He activated his wrist blades, the twin blades extending with a deadly hiss. He launched himself forward, a desperate, suicidal charge. Crimfaxi bellowed, bringing its fist down. Kelar slid beneath it, digging his blades deep into the Jötunn's knee joint, a vulnerable point he had observed. The ice-granite hide resisted, but his blades, honed to molecular sharpness, bit deep. Hrímfaxi roared in pain, its leg buckling. Kelar disengaged, rolling clear as the Jötunn stumbled, sending tremors through the cavern. This was his moment. He sprinted towards the ice bridge, driving his axe into its base repeatedly, then detonating the satchel charges he had meticulously placed. The ice bridge groaned, then shrieked. Hrímfaxi, enraged, lumbered onto the collapsing structure, its weight too immense. Kelar leaped clear, landing precariously on the far side as the bridge fractured and crumbled into the abyss below. Crimfaxi roared one last, desperate, earth-shattering cry as it plunged into the darkness, tons of ice and rock cascading down after it, sealing its icy tomb. Silence. Only the ragged sound of Kelar's own breathing filled the cavern. He was battered, his armor cracked, his green blood oozing from a gash on his arm. But he was alive, and he had done it. He descended into the debris-filled chasm, guided by his thermal vision. Deep within the shattered ice he found it, a massive, jagged shard of pure, ancient ice, radiating an intense cold, a piece of Hrímfaxi's very essence. With trembling hands, Kelar carved his clan's symbol onto its surface, a mark of triumph, of redemption. Weeks later, Kelar stood before the elders of his clan. The great hall, usually filled with the low hum of conversation and the clatter of weapons, was silent. He presented the ice shard, its cold energy palpable even to the unmasked. The elders, ancient and unyielding, examined it. The impossibility of the feat, accomplished with only an axe and wrist blades against a primordial Jötunn, was undeniable. To hunt a Jötunn, a being of myth, and return with its essence. The lead elder, a scarred veteran whose eyes had seen countless hunts, spoke, his voice a gravelly rumble. Kelar, you have faced the primordial, you have overcome your weakness, your honor is restored. With a solemn gesture, his confiscated wrist blades were returned, and new, intricate markings were etched onto his armor. He was no longer the disgraced young blood. He was Kelar, the Frost Slayer. He had not only regained his status, but had forged a new legend. As he looked out at the stars, the vast, endless canvas of the galaxy, the thrill of the hunt, now truly earned, coursed through his veins. His next challenge awaited.